Good afternoon, beautiful people. How are you doing? You're welcome to your program, Youth and the Nation, and Chrome Radio and TV. And as you know, I still remember, yeah, host, Utsman Norat. Yes, I'm your ombud, Utsman Norat. So today on Youth and the Nation, we have a very interesting topic as usual. But today is kind of different because I feel like we are diving from our usual topic. So yeah, today we are kind of talking about politics. I feel like people, actually we youths, kind of try to, excuse ourselves from the old politics stuff. They're like, I beg, I'm not interested. It's another boring thing. It's another old oligarchy, gerontocracy stuff that people get into. And I'm like, okay. I feel like we need to enlighten ourselves about certain things and some stuff that we really, really, really need to change our mentality about. So today we're talking about the not too young to run bill. Yes, I know by now so many of us are actually very conversant with that topic, as I feel like we've heard it probably on TV or on radio. So yeah, the not too young to run bill was passed in 2018 by General Muhammad Buhari, that's our president. Though the old bill was sponsored by two people, that is Tony Onwulu from House of Representatives and Abdulaziz Nyanko from the Senate. These people actually did a whole lot to make sure that this not too young bill was actually being passed. Though the bill was was being noticed of was being accepted by different youths that represented people from the 36 states. So yes, this old bill was actually passed in the sight of different people, that is different youths, to show that yes, this old bill was not actually done behind our backs, but yes, we have representatives who actually did help us to make sure that this old bill was actually being passed. So yes, initially according to section 65, if you want to become a member of the House of Rep, you are to be at least 35 years. But then all thanks to the not too young bill, people once we are like 25 years now, yes, definitely you can now become a member of the House of Assembly. So House of Rep, sorry, for the Senate, that before it was initially 35, but now if you're like 30 years, my dear, you can actually become a senator. Yes, for the position of a president, before in section 131, it says that if you want to become a president, you have to be like 40 years. But all thanks to the bill that was being passed, if you're like 30 years now, you are qualified, yes, to become a president. Now for the governorship, before it was within the range of 35 years, but now it is within the range of 30 years. So we can say this whole struggle for the not too young to run bill actually did help us bring down the age for we're running for certain positions in the state. And in a way, I feel like this kind of brings people closer to politics. I mean, we all have this apathy for politics. Like, I'm not even interested. I don't want to get involved and all. But this age reduction really, really, really did help a whole lot. So today we'll be talking about the not too young to run bill. Yes. So I'm not the only one in the studio, yes. I mean, I can't actually finish this conversation, so I actually brought someone to help me intervene and also shed more light on the topic. So yes, for me, I have someone. He looks like a politician himself. I don't understand. I feel like the guy is even ready to go for this not too young to run bill. All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Sani Farouk Adidayo, and not a politician like you assume I am. I'm just an entrepreneur. I'm into furniture making. But then the experience of leadership I gathered from my stay in school as a student leader, at least can be able to share a little more light on the topic. Thank you very much.
Alright, no worries. So let me dive into the first question. I mean, from what I've said, you can actually gather that we've had people who've more like laid the foundation for we youths to actually get involved in politics in a way. So the first question that I have to ask is what's your take on the not too young to run bill?
Okay, the not too young to run, I'll call it a law now because it's already been passed and into the law of the constitution. Well, it's a welcome idea, but then when you look at the complexities that attach to the not too young to run bill, of course we have it attached to low ages and all that gives youths the opportunity to run for positions and appointed places in the political system. But then how flexible it is the question. I mean, it might be not too young to run, but is it not too young to lead? Anybody can run and not get appointed, of course, right? But then how flexible it is when you talk of the finances that is attached to this. because when you are going for political positions, my dear, you have to be ready financially, to push towards your financial, your political appointments and elected positions. So I feel, the not young to run bill should still come with a little bit of, how do I put it right now, considerations to youth. Thank you.
All right. So the second one I have to ask is, do you actually think this whole not too young to run bill is a way of attracting the youth into politics, or it's just like you leaving a bait for a prey? Understand? To just like, okay, just have it. Like, it don't sound as if you are not actually getting involved in politics.
Well, the youth, the youth general, at least by what we see right now, are actively wanting to participate in politics. And even though we've witnessed the era of, the old taking up positions and position not wanting to leave such positions, and at least by what is happening, I mean, there haven't been changes in the country as a whole, in the nation, and I think this is what is driving the youth towards presenting a position, and I want to believe this is what facilitated the Not Too Young to Run bill to be passed. And by the time you look at the pre-colonial era, the likes of those who fought for our independence, the like of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ahmadu Bello, and Ahmadu Bello and the likes like that, you notice that they did all of this in their youthful ages, and they were successful. I want to believe this has been the drive that led towards the Not Young to Run bill, and yeah, it's a welcome idea.
All right. So the third question, which is now basically about what we're talking about today. Do you think this age, like, are they actually the age bracket? Do you think they are feasible? Like, I mean, some people like 30 years. What experience has he gathered? Do you understand? But like, the more reason why I feel like some people are actually in support of old people being in power. You understand? I feel like you're 30 years, and I'm like, what do you have? What experience do you have about holding positions? Or do you think just being like a class captain or just being the president of something gives you the opportunity, you understand, to actually claim that yes, so I have the power of leadership and all?
Well, you see, when we talk about experience now in politics, the point is, life generally is a space for us to learn, and we learn every day. And experiences are gathered. Even those that we assume to have this experience keeps on learning by the day. But when you look at our generation, especially the 21st century youths now, we are filled with smart people. We are filled with people that are very energetic and all. I mean, experiences, yes, we might not not have been in the system, but it doesn't mean that when we get to the system we can't take charge and take power. I mean, by what we've seen, by what we've seen our past leaders do, it's enough experience to say that, okay, yes, this is what I shouldn't do when I get to this position, because when they did it, this was what worked out, this was what failed. Do you understand my point?
Yeah,
so by this, it's an experience for the youth to claim that, yes, of course, experience shouldn't be the basis of political position and appointment. You understand? I think what is most important is understanding what the political system is, and seeing towards achieving the goals placed upon the shoulder of whoever it is being elected in such positions.
Okay, so you're saying the age doesn't matter as long as
The age doesn't matter.
as long as you're matured and you actually have the strength to withstand whatever comes with the position.
Yes, I think, would I say the youth have an edge over the the likes of our daddies and all, because when you talk of being energetic, you can't start mentioning the names of those who are already old and trying to because when you look at the likes of, I mean, during Raji Fashola, when he was in power, then at least then in his youthful age, there are some projects that towards the midnight when they are being carried out, they will go there for supervision and all. I mean, you don't expect somebody of 70, 80 years that will be thinking of going to sleep at that point in time, you understand, to be doing stuffs like that. I mean, to an extent, it has an age. And when with youth, they are built with fresh minds of being able to think and create ideas. Do you understand? And this can only be done as a youth. I mean, you should be able to think and be able to compromise when things are going one way or the other. So I feel the age difference can also play a role in political positions.
So we being young doesn't matter that we can actually do better, you understand? It feels like if I knew it, because from your words, I'm like being young gives you more opportunity, you understand? I mean, then you're still young, you're still agile, you're still strong, so you can actually carry out things.
Yes.
That is what you can carry. Alright, I'll try to deal with that. Because in a way, you give me hope that, okay, I'll think about it, maybe I can go for senator, shall I? Yes, now be, but why is my,
Yeah, of course, of course.
I can
but you know, yeah, to be very, very sincere, and I think the Not Young to Run bill should still be re-amended when it comes to all that is attached to it. Because I mean, how many youth have really taken advantage of this Not Too Young to Run law? Because right now we are looking at the 2023 election coming up next year. I mean, how many youths have turned out to say, okay, I really want to represent in positions that would really make impact, do you understand, to my community, to my state, to my country as a whole. I mean, this can only be achieved by the time everything attached to it can, because there's no way you to come out now and say I'm running for presidency. Do you know how much it takes to really run for that position? I mean, the first thing the question is, what is the source of income? And if his source of income cannot really, you know,
go in line with
exactly, they'll begin to question one because of that.
Yeah.
So I think that should be a little bit amended to the would I put it, at least it shouldn't be attached to finances. Politics is not really about everything about money. Of course money is involved, but then it shouldn't be basically attached to money. Do you understand? We are looking for young, fresh experiences that can really, you know,
help out with this.
that can really actually gear the country to move forward. Do you understand? So I mean, they should try and make it a little bit flexible for youths, so that we can really actively participate. We've seen youths on Twitter, how active they are. They really want to come out to represent. Look at the likes of the NSAS protest. I mean, so you know, all of these things can only be possible by the time this Not Too Young to Run bill isn't just made as a, you know, flex banner that, okay, let everybody see that yes, we passed the bill and it was made a law, but then the implementation is what matters the most.
You made mention of Twitter the other time. I'm like, yeah, I just reminding of our keypad warriors. I mean, it's really, really annoying, to be honest. I mean, I see people that are very smart, intelligent, and like something, and I'm like, okay, what if this person comes out for a particular position? I don't know if they're scared of the money, or it's the fact that, you know, I feel like we youth are more of takers than doers. Do you understand? We talk of, okay, things can go, things can be better if we do this, things can be this if we do this, but then nobody's really ready to come out to, you know, be the saber of change. You understand? They're not ready to be the one, excuse me, that will actually carry the whole mantle of this leadership. You understand? And all. So I feel like we youth need to actually, you know, change our mentality and remove this whole apathy from our minds. So that leads to the next question. That I feel like, I mean, looking at Nigeria itself, Nigeria, the so-called giant of Africa. I'm very sorry to say that, but then something comes when I'm like, okay, let's say a youth is being sponsored by probably a peace party. You understand? To run for a particular position. Okay, let's even make an example of position of a president. Do you think a youth actually has the mind to shoulder the responsibility of this big country, this great country called Nigeria? Like, you understand? Do you think a youth can actually withstand the weight?
You know, this is your question. I would say yes. At the same time, I would say no. And here's my reason. You know, Nigeria as a whole has a political system to which it follows, and this political system is built by different idealism, and this is what is the backbone of different parties, the likes of the two major opposition parties that go heads to heads. I mean, it just doesn't take me waking up as a youth to say, okay, yes, I have the knowledge, I have everything it takes to run as a president, and I just emerge. No, there are certain things that has to be built upon, and this is the basis on, number one, me saying we might have the experiences to gear, you know, towards becoming very good leadership upon a claim such position. But then getting to that position, that is the big question there, the big question mark. And you know, this is why I feel, you know, as youths, there is something we are lacking. Especially when I saw the during the NSAS protest and all. Yeah, I saw so many passionate Nigerians youths coming out to, you know, they're coming out to protest to see that our voice are being heard. But one thing I felt was that the fact that there was no any leader to represent, to say, okay, this is who is really standing in for us, was the whole lapse there that I found, because there is no way you can really place the responsibility of a country on ourselves. We have to be answerable to someone, and somebody has to answer for us. Do you understand?
Yes.
And by this is the only way we can really gain the power that we need. If we really want to create a third party and not just the likes of our two major opposition parties that goes heads to head rather,
Yeah,
we
I
really need to
understand.
create a voice. We really need to create a consensus voice of, okay, if it is youth, this is a youth party we want to create. Yes, we have to come out in mass. Or if by chance we want to, in a way, create our tentacles through the likes of the existing parties, we have to be, wise enough to be able to do that as a youth. You understand, to represent positions. And yeah, of course, might come up in later years, but 2023, I don't really see it forthcoming.
So you don't believe that we can actually like win anything?
I see Nigeria youths coming out, but I mean, we can't keep on telling lies to ourselves. We know what Nigeria is like.
No, you see, what I don't understand you people. That's what I'm thinking about. If I'm more of takers than doers, I mean, just give it a try. I feel like probably because for those who love politics, I'm not being like, I don't actually have any apathy towards politics, but regardless, for those who are actually very passionate about it, you understand, I feel like, forget about you winning or not, but sometimes it's not about you winning, but you coming out to show that, okay, yes, I'm interested in this particular thing. You might not win, but then for that moment people will kind of know, you understand, your intentions, and that might actually gain you more popularity. Sure, you understand my point? So sometimes I feel like winning is not about everything. Winning is not about everything, but you being able to speak up, understand, lend your voice, tell people what you feel, understand, tell them your so-called manifestos. And let's be honest, we've had so many manifestos of, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will build them for you in heaven. I'm like, okay, these old manifestos are actually very tiring. It's more like what everybody is saying, you understand? So probably there should be another way in which we have to be showing our real intentions, rather than we just coming out to manifest. What of mouth is kind of cheap. I'm very sorry. Anybody can actually make promises, and anybody can actually come up with words. Sure, you understand, but you need to actually execute those words. Always the problem. Do you understand? So I feel like our youth needs to, even if they are going to make use of social media, which is where everybody, all these phone balls, you understand, even those that cannot talk to you in real life, they insult you on social media, and you're like, okay, nice. Do you understand? I just feel like if we can just try to work more on our goals, you understand, rather than just coming online to just post stuff. Even I've seen people who just come out and decide to just clean their environment and all, you understand, move away from their comfort zone, just go somewhere in order to make sure that things work in life. That doesn't really necessarily mean that they are dumb or anything. From there, that shows their intention, you understand, that they don't need anything from you, and they are not actually after you how I put it, you trying to praise them or give them this whole, I'm sure that you tried and this and no. So we just need to just work more on ourselves, understand, work more on our goal, and we should just stand on what we believe in. I just like that's just the point. You stand on what you believe in. We might actually get intimidated with this whole power driven people. Sure, you understand. They are all rich, you understand. And in terms of experience, many of them have been in power for like almost 50-60 years. You could have. So sometimes it's not about the experience, you understand, it's just about you standing on what you believe in. So to the youths who actually have the intention of going for any political position, please go. We are rooting for you, please. Even if it's you being in the Senate, please, we need a youth. We really need a youth. You understand? It's understandable when we hear some of our politicians being like, we are standing for the youth, we promise to be your mouthpiece, and then I'm like, okay, we've not seen anything, my dear. Talk is cheap. Very sorry. But regardless, we youth need to tighten up. We need to sit tight, and we need to support one another. We've seen other people, other youth who actually come out. You understand? Don't let me make mention of name, but there was someone who actually came out one time saying he's here for it, but then some things started coming out afterwards, and I got that this person is actually not being honest, you understand? He embezzles money, he's not even trustworthy, you understand? He has so many things that can actually ruin us without even getting to any place. Do you understand? So they're just things that we actually need. We need to check ourselves first. If we actually want to be the change that we seek for, we need to definitely do something that is different from what our successors have been doing. You understand? Our predecessors, sorry, have been doing. You understand? I mean, we've had people who have been in power, just like I said earlier, who have actually done their part, but then we are not actually comfortable with it. So those things that we see that they are actually lacking, those lapses are what we need to work on in order to get what we want. So yeah, this is my own tiny addition to the topic. So yeah, before we actually kind of round up, what's your advice for those who are actually interested in going into politics?
I would say politics leadership position is actually a very, very strenuous one, and it takes a very great skill for you to run for such position. So for youths that are really willing to go for such position, there should be, like you said, there should be truth to themselves.
Yeah.
Because I mean, rooting for youth doesn't really solve our issue, but rooting for the right youth,
the right youth, yes,
is what matters the most. Because, like I said, I participated in student politics, and I saw the likes of, what youth themselves can really do. You'll be scared to what they can even do at times than what our fathers are really doing. So, I think my own advice is, whatever it is we are really running for as youths, it is really important to scrutinize who it is that we want to present as candidates. See his past record, see his achievements, and before we can gather our hands together to say, okay, this is who we are going for and this is who we want to deliver. So that's my own personal advice.
Alright, I feel like he has actually said the word. Let's just scrutinize ourselves. Let's know who we are going for, because to really be something very painful. I mean, coming out or written from someone which we believe will be our savior, then person coming out to be nothing different from our predecessors. So with this, we'll be giving you guys I feel like we've actually given this out all our advice and all, and there's not much to say because I feel like everybody actually knows the right thing to do, unless we just want to lie to ourselves. So I'll be asking you guys to actually get involved in politics. Please do get involved in politics, regardless of how small it is. I know the payment can be very, very I had that to even get the slot for governorship. It's more like $1 million plus. You understand? So I'm like, some you don't even have like up to that in their account. You understand? And the so-called political parties that might even want to help them might not be ready to help, and some that are really ready to help will bring out people that are not trustworthy to be his subordination. You understand? So I feel like we all need to work together. We all need to work on what we want, and we all need to check ourselves. I mean, that's the first thing. Before you can actually go out to say you can save people, can you actually save yourself? Before you can say you can trust other people, can you actually trust yourself? And before you can actually lead other people, can you lead yourself and your emotions? So these are the questions I'll be throwing out to you, and I'll be expecting your feedback, your comments as usual. So yeah, don't forget to follow us on our social media pages: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, as Chrome Radio and TV. Yes, I don't know, I'm not against whatever criticism. I'm actually very open to your criticism. So yes, I'll be expecting your feedbacks on this topic. So yes, this is our little talk and not to your young to run view. I hope I'll be able to actually pass out little information to you guys. So with this, we're saying goodbye. See you next week. Yeah, take good care of yourself. It's very important. Ciao, ciao.